Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you've never seen me before, my name is Mallory. I am the owner of Saucy Puffin Crafts. I make handmade plushies like this one. I sell them at markets and on Etsy, and I have been doing this for about a year and a half now, and I do this full time. So if you are interested in crochet content, craft content, or just seeing cute plushies, then please go ahead and subscribe down below. It's a free way to support me and my channel. Today I'm going to be going over some of my tips for starting a crochet business or even a business in general. Some of these tips can be applied to other businesses as well. If you're wondering why you should listen to me, I'll give you a couple reasons. Like I said, I've been doing this full-time for about a year now. I've managed to become successful, at least in my eyes. I've been able to sustain an income for myself, and my business is still growing. I also went to university for business, and I've had previous businesses, so I've learned a lot of things along the way. I do a lot of research, I do a lot of networking, and I've kind of just been in this world for many years now. So I'm just gonna get right into it and share with you guys some of my tips for starting a business or a crochet business. So my first tip is to pick a platform to sell on. This is something that I went back and forth on a lot when I started my business. So just a little bit of backstory. Saucy Puffin Crafts used to be a wreath making business. My mom and I would hand make wreaths and we would sell them locally. For a little while we were shipping them on Etsy, but most of our sales came locally. We would sell at markets and on Facebook. And then I slowly started integrating crochet into the business, and we ended up at some point just making it all crochet, and we have since closed the wreath part of our business. So like I said, we had been selling on Facebook, and that was good for the business that we were doing with wreaths, because obviously it's going to be very expensive to ship wreaths across the world. But when we started selling crochet items, that is when I had to make the choice between Shopify or Etsy. And as you guys know, I chose Etsy. I did a ton of research on this before making that decision. I have had a Shopify website in the past, so I am familiar with it. That was with another business and it worked out fine. But where my crochet business was more new, I guess you could say, we didn't have the customer base like I had in my previous business. Etsy was a good start out point for us because Etsy will actually bring traffic to your store. So that was kind of the main reason that I chose Etsy. So when you're picking your platform, you have to take those things into consideration. Like maybe you have 100,000 followers on Instagram and you already have your client base. And if that's the case, maybe you don't need Etsy because you don't need them to be bringing in traffic to your website. You might be best off with a Shopify store, only paying a monthly fee as opposed to paying, you know, all these transaction fees on every single product that you sell on Etsy. So that is something that no one can tell you what to do. You can look up the pros and cons of Shopify and Etsy. I might even do a video at some point, maybe just on the pros and cons of Etsy from my experience. But you just need to look at your finances and how big your business already is and try to figure out which platform would be best for you. And of course, it's not just Shopify and Etsy. There's tons of other ways that you can sell your product. You can sell through Instagram, through Facebook, Facebook Marketplace, Wix, all of these other platforms. So you're not limited just to the two. Next, I would say focus on your social media. Social media is huge. TikTok, for example, people go viral on TikTok every single day. Your business could blow up. Same thing on Instagram. So I would just say as many social media platforms as you can handle. We have Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Those are all the ones that I use most frequently. TikTok and Instagram would definitely be our top two. I know a lot of people use Pinterest. I am on Pinterest. It's just not my favorite, but I do know that Pinterest is great for growth. So if you can figure out how to use it and how to utilize that for your business, I would definitely recommend doing that. But the more the better, and be consistent. Another thing I want to mention that I didn't really realize until I got into Etsy was the shipping. So shipping can be really complicated. It's something that you're going to have to research. You can ship through Etsy directly and purchase your labels on there, or if you're doing letter mail, you can do letter mail, but there's also other platforms that you can use for shipping like ClickShip, ShipStation. I know down in the States they have like a bunch of other ones that we don't have here in Canada. We're a bit limited in Canada, but do your research, because when you are shipping out large packages, especially for crochet items, you can get way better deals on shipping. Like for example, I use ClickShip and I find that really, really good. Most of the time I can get a good deal. If not, then I'll just use Etsy. So that is definitely something that you would have to look into depending on what types of products you are making. But of course, the cheaper that you can make your shipping, the more product you're going to sell and the most successful you will be. Another thing that I'm so glad I did from the start of my business is keeping track of everything, every single purchase that you make, every single product that you sell. So this can be a little more complicated if you're not using Etsy or Shopify or something, because it's not tracking everything for you. Like if you're just selling through Instagram or Facebook Marketplace, you need to make sure that you have a way to track all of your sales first off, and to track all of your expenses. This is going to be important for down the line when you're filing your taxes. Make sure you are tracking absolutely every single business expense that you have. There are many apps that you can use. One of them is called Zeny, Z-E-N-Y. That is a good one for when you're starting out. I like to use QuickBooks. I find that really good. It also tracks your gas mileage, which of course is important if you're using your vehicle for your business, which if you have a crochet business, you most likely are, to be purchasing product for your business, to be going back and forth to craft shows, things like that. So that's one feature that I really like on that app. Keep all of your receipts, track all of your product, just track absolutely everything. And this is important too, to understand how much you're actually making. Like, are you even making a profit? You need to be tracking exactly how much you're spending on your materials. Otherwise, how are you going to know what your profit is? And as we all know, crochet is a super time-consuming craft. A lot of the customers don't realize that, but we as artists know that. So it is very important that you are tracking down to the cent how much you're spending to make that product, because you also have to factor in the time, which is generally several hours depending on what type of piece you're making. So if you take anything away from this video, please just track everything for your business. The next thing I wanted to talk about is niching down. So some people are going to agree with me on this next one, and some people are going to disagree. That's just how it is in business. But personally, I am a niche girl. I like to niche down as much as I can. So basically what that means is selling like products. So for me, I am a crochet plushie business mainly, but I do also have a few other crochet items, but I don't have, you know, crochet items and, you know, quilting items and wreaths and other things. Like, I don't have a bunch of different products that aren't related to each other, if that makes sense. So my question to you is, do you want to be a garage sale? When you think about a garage sale or a yard sale, generally it's people selling a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with each other. So it's all of these random things. But for your business, do you want your business to be completely random? Or do you want people to look at your business and think, okay, this is exactly what this business is? I see some people selling, you know, like tumblers and like vinyl things and keychains and scrunchies and paintings, and then they have a few crochet plushies and all of these different things, and it can be really overwhelming to the customer, and the customer doesn't really understand your business. So if you can, I recommend niching down. If you want to slowly add other things to your business later down the line, then do so, because you'll have your customer base. But starting out, you don't want to confuse your customer. You want it to be very clear to the customer exactly what you're selling. Personally, when I go to a craft fair, I'm a lot more likely to purchase something from someone if I know exactly what it is they do. So for example, if I'm looking to purchase a piece of artwork or a painting, I'm more likely to purchase that from someone who is solely selling those types of items rather than someone who is selling a bit of artwork, a bit of crochet, some kids stuff, and all of these random things. Does that make sense? So I know that can be a touchy subject for people, and it might work for you to have all kinds of different things. It hasn't worked for me in the past. Like I said, I used to sell wreaths, and then we integrated crochet, and those two things just don't go together. You have to think about your customer base, because our customer base for our wreaths were generally people you know, 30 plus. But now our customer base is much younger because we sell plushies, which obviously attracts children. So selling wreaths and crochet items just really didn't make sense, and it was very confusing to our customer. And we have done so much better since we made that change and since we completely niched down to just crochet items. So that's just something to think about. But those are all of my tips for this video. I have so many things that I can talk about. If you guys are interested in this type of content, please leave your comments down below. Leave your questions, leave your advice. I would love to hear it. Thank you guys again for sticking around on this channel and for watching my videos. Some of you guys have told me that you binge watch my videos. I'm sorry that I don't have more, but I'm trying to be more consistent. I know I was talking about being consistent, so I'm doing my best, and I'm gonna try and get more content out for you guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that